Hey guys, Joe here, the man who likes the new merchant voice almost just as much as I did back in 2004, and I'm here to talk about UFC 287 Hotline Miami edition. It was actually a pretty good card, I thought. I really don't have very many complaints outside of who won, but you really can't control that. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the fights, so enough talk. Let's get to the fights. Because main event, the fourth fight, and probably not the last, Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira. Early on, I thought Alex was doing a good job. He was kind of forcing Izzy to lead the dance, something he isn't the best at, and that's not a knock on Izzy, because counter-strikers typically hate having to be the one to lead. Yoel Romero made Adesanya lead the dance. It's, that fight happened. Anderson Silva is one of the big comparisons people make to Izzy, and he hated being forced to lead the dance, hated being on the front foot. So I thought it was kind of smart to kind of make him do that while chopping away at low kicks whenever he could. Second round, he kept the low kicks up, started upping the pressure, and it looked like he kind of staggered him with a kick to the leg. It looked like Izzy's leg was hurt for a second. He starts swarming. He has him stationary, looks to swarm, landing some big shots on the arms. Some of them maybe hit the chin, but he's kind of loading up real hard on him. Big overhand right from Izzy out of nowhere. Boom! Pereira goes down, and he's out. Adesanya is now 1-3, which doesn't sound great still to me, against Alex Pereira. In fairness, the first kickboxing matchup, I believe it was the first one, he lost a BS decision. I thought Adesanya won the fight. Second one, he was winning, gets flattened by a left hook. Third fight, he was winning, gets knocked out. It just is what it is, Sometimes it's like Leon Edwards going into the third Usman fight. I said that Usman had won 90% of their fight. It's just kind of how it is. 90% of all the time they've spent together. And now it's probably a little closer to 50-50, I suppose. But yeah, it's just kind of how it is for Izzy. He's been the better fighter basically the whole time. It's weird. Middleweight was in such a weird spot. And, here we go. Izzy's the champ again. So I actually got a ton of flack for their third fight because I thought it was boring, but I rewatched it that day after seeing people kind of not like my opinion on it. I'll rewatch it. I really don't want to, but I will. It's not that bad of a fight. It's pretty good. It's fine. I'm openly an Izzy hater. He's really cringy to me, really, really cringy, and just his personality. Clearly I like some anime, but I'm not a big anime head, and all the anime he references I'm not a fan of. So it just comes off really cringy and trying too hard to me. And sometimes when he fights, I think they're boring. Some of his fights are pretty boring, and I love technical strikers. He just doesn't do it for me. That said, I thought it was a pretty good comeback win. I think he needed this win. It's good for him to win. I picked him to win. I thought he was going to win, not this way, but it's really good for him to win. I wanted Alex to win because, hater at heart. But it's fine. I'm okay with Izzy winning. I think he did a great job in finding the opening. Because he said he played possum, and I don't know if that's my hater vision is just saying that's BS, but I don't know. He at least was hurt to the leg, I think. I think he might, the shots to the chin might have hit shoulder and stuff like that because he was covering up pretty well. So he might have been talking about that. And waiting for the opportunity just to blast him. It's because it's kind of similar to what happened in the end of the first round in their last fight. I don't know. I think he just kind of got put in that stationary spot by the low kick, and Alex just thought that was a good enough opening to swarm on. But this fight was good. I thought Izzy did a good job, and I am still a hater, as I've said. So who knows? Maybe this fight's actually an all-time classic. I don't know. But great knockout, though. I don't think Izzy has a ton of one-punch power. Dude, he flattened him with that shot. Just flattened him. Great shot. Great counter shot. That's the stuff, Izzy fans love to see. They want to see him get the knockouts. And hey, man, sweet. I know a lot of Izzy fans. They're all pumped about this. Props to you. Good job. But my big question is, what do you do with this division, though? Do you have Rob fight him again? I mean, I'm okay with the third fight because I thought he won the second fight, but this middleweight needs new blood or something. This needs something. Middleweight's hurting right now, I think. But in the co-main event, we might have seen the last of Street Jesus, Jorge Masvidal. Street Jesus, as I prefer to call him. He took on Gilbert Burns and just got whooped on. I thought he lost the striking, and he was clearly out-grappled for 3 rounds. I thought he clearly lost the striking, but I've seen some kind of discourse on Twitter and stuff like that. Gilbert landed some massive bombs on Masvidal. Nothing. They seemed to hurt him, but like not put him out. And that chin is really something on Masvidal then, because I think Gilbert is probably the hardest hitter in the division. He has like semi-trucks for hands. It's crazy. I think you can argue he's the hardest hitter. I personally think he is, but I'm sure people will probably like say like other people, like Usman hits really hard too. So, but after the fight, Masvidal called it a career, which he hinted he was probably going to do it if he lost. And the dude doesn't have the perfect record in latter years. I thought a lot of people were kind of souring on him, but I hope we remember him as this secretly really crafty striker that was almost masquerading as a brawler. Everyone thought he was like this big dumb brawler that was like, street boxer from like, Street Fighter kind of thing. But no, he actually had some like really cool techniques, game plans, strategies in there. Really, really, really crafty in his striking. Just wasn't the craftiest, but he was secretly like incredibly intelligent when he was striking. I hope we remember him for that stuff instead of the prima donna he kind of was in his later career. But best of luck to you in retirement, Jorge. The dude seriously just mad slick in his striking. So he's a guy that like if I get the pull-up tape on him, I'm pretty happy. He's got a lot of fun stuff in there. And Gilbert Burns wants a title shot, and he says if he doesn't get it, he's quitting. So I guess we'll see Gilbert Burns in PFL, because I think they're going to, well, actually they might. They're probably going to pass on Belail again. Anyways, for what the fight I thought was going to be fight of the night, wasn't. Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez at bantamweight, the best division, of course. And I'm super high on Yanez. I was going in, I still am. He's young, things happen. But I thought he was looking pretty decent against Font. Font was using his jab, which I brought up in the preview show, that Yanez has some trouble early on with like straight shots. He wants to kind of counter with like these big loopers, and because like that's like his big thing. Is like he has really good counter hooks, and like really pretty good head movement, good uppercuts, and he loves to attack the body and stuff like that. And Font was just kind of picking him apart with not picking him apart, but landing the jab a good amount, keeping the jab in there. The straight shots were kind of giving him some trouble, but Yanez is starting to try and time the upper, and Yanez also landing some really good shots in there. Font's been criticized for his chin, not been knocked out in his last 2 fights, but he was dominating the striking in his last 2 fights, would get hit by a big clean shot, go flying across the ring like a cartoon, and then would like be so hurt he just loses like the next round or 2 or 3. And it happened in the Jose Aldo fight and the Chito Vera fight in his last 2, which he lost by decision because he was winning, gets hurt, the guy takes all the momentum back up until Font comes back, gets hurt, here it is again. It was just kind of like that rinse and repeat in both those fights. So his chin has been criticized, but he took some really hard shots here by Yanez, who has a great power punch, and was in there good. So the time off definitely really helped him out there, because he took over a year off, I believe, like to kind of rest his body and everything like that. Worked out fantastic for the 35-year-old. So the jab's working out. Yanez is looking to time it. Font's starting to notice this. And so he goes for a mix-up because Yanez swings like big wide hooks. His hooks come from like here and in. They'll even like kind of reach. So he steps in on the inside angle, gets in a single collar clinch, starts dirty boxing a bit, lands a big uppercut, hurts Yanez. They both throw right hands, and boom, Fonts lands, puts Yanez down out with that shot. Wild KO win. Really fun fight for as long as it lasted. I wish it was longer, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. It was a really, really good fight. And I love Yanez, but hey man, I like Rob Font too. So, in this division, I just want to see good fights, and that's what this division does. It just puts on good fights, it seems like. Good win too, because Font has snapped a 2-fight losing streak. But there's a lot on this card, and I could talk about this card all day. It was so much fun to me. Kevin Holland, he broke my heart, man. Just knocked out my boy, Santiago Ponzinibbio, in the 3rd round. Good fight. I thought Kevin Holland's range was really kind of dictating the fight. Something I, once again, said would happen in the preview show. Go watch that if you haven't. Go watch all the preview shows. We do a good job, I think. Christian Rodriguez beat Raul Rosas Jr. in a great upset. And I'm going to feel bad saying this, because the kid's like 18, He was probably, what do kids do? Play Fortnite? Probably playing Fortnite on the bus or something like that on his phone, bragging about how he's in the UFC, man. Like, it's kind of the dream, you know what I mean? He's living the dream. But he was really wearing on me with just like his cockiness coming into this fight. So I was really rooting for Rodriguez to like, and also it's really fun seeing like a Dana White hype machine get like dethroned, like seeing like Sage Northcutt lose back in the day, who seems like a great kid. Seeing Sage Northcutt lose back in the day, felt so good back. So this one felt pretty good. So Christian Rodriguez beat him up, I thought. Second and third round just whooped on him. He looked like he was going to finish him a couple times too on the ground. But that being said, with I keep like a stunner. I'm Mexican. I should get this down. Raul Rosas Jr. The thing with him is it's probably just an immaturity thing. I'm not trying to knock on the kid too hard. I mean, it's not too fair. I don't think it's fair of me, a guy who turns 29 in 2 months, coming up, to really rag on him. But it just is what it is. It's just an immaturity thing. I'm sure he won't be like that forever. The big question is, why are we letting an 18-year-old fight men? I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's a little weird, but at the same time, if we let 18-year-olds play in like the NFL, we let them play. I don't know how it is with like MLS, or not MLS, but like soccer leagues in Europe and stuff like that. So I don't know what their like minimum age is. I know this is a combat sport, but you can have an 18-year-old box, I believe, like 90% sure. So I don't know. I wonder if that's something we'll look at like 10, 15 years down the line. But it's definitely interesting ideas and an interesting debate, I think. I'm kind of on the fence on it myself because Chase Hooper was getting good wins for a minute. And I still love the dude. Chase Hooper's mega boy material. Kelvin Gastelum, he came back to the winning side with a really, really good, fun fight. I don't know if this was fight of the night, but it could have been. It was really good with Chris Curtis. Both dudes just kind of blasting each other, landing good shots. Curtis landed some good ones. Gas landed some really good ones in there. And I wish this fight was on the main card. It was so good. I love when I saw this matchup. I was like, dude, put this on the main card. Raul Rosas Jr. is on the main card. Oh, man, come on. I don't know. Joe Pfeiffer, he got a very impressive win over Gerald Meerschaert. It's a lot of people's boy. A lot of people like G3. I like G3, but man, Joe Pfeiffer was a really impressive win, I thought, from him. And lastly, Lupita Godinez beat Cynthia Calvillo, and just extending that losing streak. I was shocked to see her on this card. I'm not trying to like rag on a fighter. I think that's really disrespectful. I try not to rag on fighters too hard here, even if I do, I usually go, I am openly a hater, and it's usually like tongue in cheek, like with Izzy stuff. I'm usually just kind of clowning. But man, I was shocked to see her on this card. Like how ruthless they are with cuts, and she's on this card. Oof, it's kind of wild. But hey, good for her getting a paycheck, I suppose. And but yeah, that losing streak's racking up. It's crazy how like she was like prepped for like the next big title run, and then here we are. It happens to a lot. It just happens sometimes in the sport. Sport's very unforgiving. But that's it for me though. I will be back next week to cover that super underrated card next week. Like Max Holloway, Arnold Allen, of course, the main event. But no one's talking about how sweet Barboza and Quarantillo is. Oh, that sounds great. It is a pay-per-view week, or it was, I should say. So, of course, a retro review came out. It was Pride 33. I gotta tell you, this is the most pumped I've ever been for a retro review. I was supposed to go to bed early that day. I stayed up because of other stuff, and I'm just sitting there watching, like, this is the premiere. You know what? I'm going to jump in the premiere and watch it with everybody because I was so pumped to cover Pride on the show. It's fantastic stuff. I hope you guys go check it out if you haven't seen it before. I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you for watching.